Greetings Bond fans and welcome back to Some Bond Geek Talks About with me, your host, Henry Stevens. Everybody, how'd you do? Hope you're good. Hope you're enjoying a good Bond film, a good Bond book, a good Bond video game, a good Bond graphic novel, a good Bond piece of music. Right, everybody, before we start off today's episode, of course, we'll just do a little bit of house cleaning as well. May I ask everybody, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why not? Why not give us a subscribe? Why don't you follow us? Click on the notification bell icon down below to receive future updates and videos. And also, everybody, if you want to listen to the audio-only version of Some Bond Geek Talks About, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Podbeam under Some Geek Talks About. It's all there for your enjoyment, everybody, and I hope you do enjoy it, everybody. So today, everyone, here's my little conversation I want to have with you all. It's essentially this. Now, when Spectre came out, obviously that was like, really exciting at the time. It was the return of Spectre, and Christoph Waltz was cast as the villain, and we all said, no, he's Franz Oberhauser. No, he's Ernst Stavro Blofeld. No, he's Franz Oberhauser. He's Ernst Stavro Blofeld. Guy, Barbara and Michael, we know it's Blofeld. In the film, no, it's Franz Oberhauser. The man looking at you right now is Ernst Stavro Blofeld. I knew it. Why didn't you say so? Just one of the couple of things I have with Spectre. But what that did is actually open up this idea that we obviously are now in a new rebooted Bond universe starting Casino Royale, where all the previous films didn't happen. It started Casino Royale. Here we are. And in this new rebooted universe, we've got a new Blofeld. We've got a new Spectre. So, hypothetically, could old villains from the old original timeline, from Dr. No to Die Another Day, make a reappearance and have new versions themselves in the new continuity? And if they can, should they? Hypothetically, let's just look at this. Could we eventually get a new version of Auric Goldfinger? Could we get a new version of Elliot Carver? Could we get a new version of Dr. No? Now, the reason I say that is because, obviously, at the time of this recording, we still haven't had the release of No Time to Die. Please, October. And obviously, Rami Malek is playing the villain Safin. Now, if you look at Safin right here and now, you can't deny there are some similarities to the character of Dr. No. There has been many a YouTube and, online web blog article discussing about the possibility that maybe he is playing Dr. No. Now, where I stand on this is very much so. I personally believe, actually, he is playing Dr. No. Just a new version of the character. Might not have the metal hands, but maybe from the book they have that his heart's on the other side like he does have in the book. But this will be a new version of Dr. No. Me personally, whether he's, Dr. No or he's just a new character Safin, I'm okay with either way. Because I think Rami Malek is just going to be a terrific villain. And you just look at those trailers, there are signs that point to the idea that Safin could be a new version of Dr. No. Heck, maybe he is Safin, but he's known throughout the industry of evil people as his name, Dr. No. You never know. You never know, everybody. And obviously, we'll find out when No Time to Die comes out. But let's just say, for the sake of just where I'm going with this sort of conversation, that Safin is Dr. No. That is Blofeld and Dr. No been brought back. So, what about Emil Largo, Rosa Klebb, Kronstein, just to name a few others. Mr. Osato, Helga Brandt, Redgrant, as one of my favourite henchmen of all time. Could we bring Bond villains back and reboot them? And honestly, my answer to that is, I think, yeah. I think you could, and maybe some of them you could actually improve on. Now, some of my most least favourite Bond villains in the whole series, just to name a couple, is Louis Jourdain's Kamal Khan and For Your Eyes Only's Julian Glover's Christatos. Personally, for me, these villains just don't work. Though I will say this, I do love it when Louis Jourdain says, "Mr. Bond is certainly a very rare breed, soon to be extinct." I do love that. I do love that very much so. But, could we see new versions of them? Could they actually, and I'll say this despite what some people might think, could they be improved on? Just keeping them from those films, a new version of Gobinda, Stuff like that. Could they have improvements? But then looking at the other side of the argument, if you look at maybe characters, let's say like Auric Goldfinger, or you look at characters, say like Stromberg, or you look at characters maybe like Electric King, do you need to reboot them because there's already such great villains? If you were to make a new Bond film now and have a new version of Goldfinger, I feel guaranteed to say majority of people, even the general going public, would say, yeah, not as good as the original Goldfinger. Or they might say, well, Electric King was a great character already. You've just basically copied and pasted. There's not really anything of interest here. So maybe that's something to think about, is maybe some of the not so high-ranking villains, maybe give them another try. I mean, here's one, for example. Now, The Man with the Golden Gun is not really one of the greatest films. I'll hand up and say that the bits I like about it, and I will, if you want to watch my review of it, go watch my review of it. But, Christopher Lee's Scaramanga was exceptional, just in a bad film. Could a new version of Francisco Scaramanga be something that maybe you can do down the lines in films? Could you introduce characters that weren't in, they changed for the movies, the original novel interpretations? I think there's much of interest here. Now, here's another example. I love Goldeneye. Goldeneye is without doubt my favourite Bond movie. It always will be. And I love Alec Trevelyan in 006. I would be happy if they said, right, we're bringing back Alec Trevelyan as the new villain in the next Bond film and doing a new modern update and slightly different version. I'd be okay with that. But I can understand why people might not be. The fact of the matter is, one of the great things about Bond is it always keeps pushing forward, keeps moving forward. It very rarely relies back on its old school things. It always keeps up to date, modernizes, keeps the classical elements of the franchise and just puts them in the modern day. If you start going back and just doing real villains, does that show signs of just we're running out of creative ideas? Because I don't think they are. I do love it, the fact that we get new characters created all the time. The Elliot Carvers, the Silvers, those sort of characters I really do love. Even to a point, the Gustav Graves character. I'm so many Bond fans are probably switching off right now. It was nice knowing you. But, here is the real conversation started. Is it good or is it bad? I see potential on both sides of the argument. Now, me, myself, as I've said, I'm very much okay with maybe taking some of the lesser well-known and maybe giving them a bit of an update and a bit of a change. But I want to know, everybody, really, what are your thoughts on this argument? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? I want to know, everybody. Comment down below and tell me what you think. What Bond villain would you like to maybe see potentially rebooted in the franchise? Which ones do you think should be completely left alone? Is it a good idea to do it? Is it not a good idea? I want to know your thoughts, everybody. As always, everybody, my name's Henry Stevens, and this has been Some Bond Geek Talks About. Goodbye.